Hello, everybody, and welcome to Storm Talk, technically, although there's really not much thunderstorms really to talk about over the next several days, especially. This is going to be obviously a focus here for tonight, get you through Saturday. We'll get you through the changes for next week, and then I'll touch briefly on what's happening beyond that. Today, the issue is, like we've seen for about 2 weeks now, backwards weather. Everything coming in from the east here, so you see where it is cooler. I mean, just downright chilly in Lexington right now at 51 degrees. Ugh. While it's 63 in Jasper. You don't see that very often where it's the opposite there, but that is what we are dealing with the front moving in, or the flow, I should say, moving in from the east. So I expect temperatures to drop as we head into this afternoon. On top of that, to add insult to injury has been that wind. I don't have wind data for every station here across Kentucky, but for the ones I do have, gust about 20 to 25 miles per hour have been very common, and you feel that right away, and it's like, wow, all of a sudden, like, remember those 90s we had about 3 weeks ago? Yeah, distant memory. Welcome to the Ohio Valley. All right, here's a look from space. Lots of clouds, as I mentioned we were not going to get the little bonus sunshine like we saw yesterday. Here's this band of rain, though, that we are tracking that is moving through at the moment into east central areas of Kentucky, and actually it's about to cross over I-65 on the southern end. I understand there's big problems here with an accident with a semi, so traffic is already at a standstill in 65. You have this rain on top of that. What a mess 65 is going to be if you have travel plans there. Now this band, because it's slanted, it's taking a little longer to get into Louisville, but it looks to arrive just in time for the afternoon rush. So expect the thermometer, which right now if you look there and the banner, it says 57, expect this to drop to about 54. Once the rain gets going and breezy on top of that. It looks to be a narrow band of rain. I don't see a whole lot behind this. At the moment, doesn't mean that we can't see it fill back in, but maybe we will get lucky and the initial band will be a rush hour to the start of the football games for tonight, and maybe more drizzle, if anything, later. I'm trying to make it sound better, but it's still not going to be better. It's still going to be just a nasty, chilly night outside. And the setup hasn't changed any. It's the upper level low that's still causing the problems. And, again, we've been trying to say this every day this week. The focus is not about Joaquin. The focus for our weather, especially, and for a good chunk of the Carolinas. For a while, yeah, it was a worry about Joaquin. But for the recent data for the past couple of days, it really should have been just about this low itself. Because look at the discharge of tropical moisture coming straight in to the Carolinas and Virginia. I mean, look at that, just straight up the coast. You don't see that very often, because usually cold fronts, the way they are slanted in the southeast, the flow usually is more southwest, and that will take a lot of the rain and move it offshore, and you've got some type of high building in behind it to push everything out to sea, so you don't get a lot of scenarios where the rain band gets stuck over you for a period of time. But this is a very unique setup where the low is positioned just right to where it's a due south flow, and this water is very warm, so the showers just regenerate and regenerate and regenerate over and over again. And that's why this is going to be a much, much bigger deal than whatever the hurricane is doing right now. I'm sure the Bahamas are getting hammered, but this is the big story for the United States, is what's happening with this upper level low. We're on the backside of that, so we get the cooler effect and some glancing showers moving through. Joaquin still a decent storm, still a major hurricane. It is now starting its northwest jog here, so we'll eventually see how it reacts as it pulls off to the north and eventually northeast. We'll talk about Joaquin there in a second. First off, let's talk about how things are going to go between now and, say, Sunday morning. This afternoon, there's that rain band moving in, again, the afternoon rush through about 7 or 8 o'clock. Really nasty. And then it's going to probably be more light rain and drizzle, I think, as we get into the evening time frame itself. So if you're going to the games, wear the rain gear. You're going to need it. You'll need the windshield wipers tonight. Be safe driving. It's a good movie night, TV watching night, in my opinion. Just stay inside. Don't even try to get out into this mess. Just chill out for a while. And then as we into Saturday mornings will start out chilly. Heading out to the Down Syndrome Walk. We have a lot of events going on tomorrow morning, early in the day. You will need a jacket. It's going to be chilly. The rain bands, though, tomorrow will be more focused over eastern and southern Kentucky. The core of the heaviest looks to be found right in this area, and then a lighter rain band will lighter rain areas will be found north and west of that, which would be here in Louisville. So I don't think it's going to be as heavy tomorrow for us. We'll see passing showers moving through, but it will be a pretty decent flow of showers all day long. So once again, the thermometer is going to struggle. But notice the temperature here, and this is interesting. Notice that we are 54 degrees Saturday at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Most of the day will be lower 50s, by the way. We're not going to rise much from where we will start at Saturday morning. But watch the numbers overnight. When we wake up Sunday morning, it's going to be warmer outside, and it's because we got warm air in different layers of the atmosphere. That is the effects of Joaquin there. That is the tropical moisture getting involved in our atmosphere somewhat. So we've got a warmer column to work with, so temperatures actually rise. It's not a Canadian air mass moving in here. All right, we're talking about a tropical setup more than anything, and therefore temperatures get a chance to rebound. So it's going to be warmer when you wake up on Sunday than when it will be when you go out Saturday. So kind of wild there, but that's important because that will then set the stage. By the way, when you see the 7-day and you see that reflected, how the numbers don't look right, it'll probably be 57 then 60, and you're thinking, man, Brian Good and Kevin Harnett are eating too many Twix or something. Something's going on. That's the point in it. It just tried to illustrate to you guys that it rises overnight. So if you see that, that's why. All right. Now, here's the good news. By 12 noon, we break out. Look at that, 70 by noon. That's good. Now, are we going to go completely sunny? I don't know that for sure yet. There are signs that some moisture may still get trapped enough to create a decent amount of stratocumulus that could get stuck in and across Kentucky or Indiana. Higher chance looks over Kentucky than Indiana. So it's kind of iffy here on that part of how much sun we'll get, and that will affect how warm we get. I think we'll at least hit 70, but we have a chance to go to 75, and if we end up way clearer than what it is indicated on the data I'm looking at right now, we have a chance to go upper 70s. So it'll all be tiered based on the amount of cloud cover. Hope that all makes sense. Here are the wind flows. These are the potential wind gusts, the max that you can get out of the system. It is not our forecast, it is the max level, and it's showing that tonight wind potential of 30 to 36. Now, I think that's a little on the high side. That would certainly be a max. Most areas will see wind gusts about 20 to 25. That will continue. As we head into Saturday, into the afternoon, wind gust generally about 20 miles per hour. Notice the wind direction a little more northerly. That's a sign the upper level low is beginning to move thanks to Joaquin. So we're seeing this shift here. Not a northeast wind, becoming more northerly, and we'll see that trend continue as we head into the day on Sunday. In fact, as we head into Sunday, we'll get more and more of that good dry air to try to work its way in. And still a little breezy perhaps on Sunday, but hopefully we can get the clouds out of here. Rain totals, rainfall estimates. You can see where I mentioned before the heaviest of rain, it's going to start off very intense, the foothills of the mountains. Then once it gets over the Appalachian Mountains, it begins to get shredded. We went through this about a week ago. It's a downsloping effect, so the rain lessens in intensity the more it gets away from the mountains. But the closer you are to the Appalachians, that is where you will run into higher rain totals. And yes, that very well be Lexington, Richmond, Somerset, maybe even Campbellsville. But lesser amounts here in Louisville and even lesser amounts for Bedford and Jasper. And it's nice to see when you look at the models that they pretty much agree. About 4/10 to a half inch of rain. Hey, that's nice to see some good agreement there on rain totals. And this is for Louisville. So we're looking pretty good on that front. All right, so here's a bigger picture of the whole setup I just described. I just described what we're going to see. For those of you traveling to Bloomington for the IU game or to Houston for Western, which you don't have to worry about that. I mean, they're going to be in the 80s. So a good time to travel with the Hilltoppers. For those cards heading to Raleigh, got to watch the forecast carefully. And for those heading to Lexington, pretty much saw how that's going to play out for you in Lexington at Commonwealth Stadium. All right, for the cards, though, this is the one everyone's talking about because this is the main part of the storm system. Notice it's a north-south band here still Friday night. So if you're traveling tonight, perhaps when you got off work today and you're heading in this mess, you're going to run into this rain band eventually into North Carolina. Now, it eventually will begin to pivot. The pivot point, the center of it looks to be somewhere right in here in South Carolina, and it's going to have got angle to it, kind of like you would see a propeller on an airplane, but just one propeller basically. Here is Joaquin right here. All right, so as Joaquin passes by to the north and east, it is going to turn that propeller of the band of heavy rain. So we'll start to see it shift and tilt. As it does so, at kickoff, we may see enough of a tilt that the game may be in decent shape here. Maybe still an ice-age shower looking good. But for Kentucky on Saturday, you see that tilt aimed right at us. That's why the heavy rain bands in southeast Kentucky will be felt. And again, it diminishes the more north and west you go. All right, now as we head into Sunday morning, the pivot continues, becoming more horizontal. We're out of that flow on Sunday. That's good. Raleigh may be getting back into it again, depending on the track here of Joaquin. Here it is offshore, and then we'll see how it plays out. But where that pivot point is, by the way, that looks to be somewhere near South Carolina or Columbia, and that is the area that will have rain the whole time because they're in the center of the whole spinning motion, and they are the ones that could see over a foot of rain. That could be just a nightmare, and that could be parts of North Carolina too. All right, beyond this, we do see a warm-up coming next week. And here we go. We got some nice yellows and reds showing up here and oranges for about the 7th. All right, so the middle portion of next week, 70s, low 80s. Then as we head into next weekend, I know we got Ironman competition going on. We do have a front dropping down. A lot of disagreement on how the front's going to play out. It will pass through at some point next weekend. Just don't know yet how much rain's going to have with it. I know for the Ironman competition, you're worried. Don't worry, we'll watch it. Stay tuned.